The reason why you feel like a failure, even though you're successful, you got the money, you got the house, you're doing all the things. The reason why you feel like a failure is because you haven't figured out the true transformation formula yet. The overview, we're going to go over what the problem is, what the possibilities for you are, and then we're going to cover some principles in this training today. So one of the problems is that you feel powerful at work, but you're powerless at home, right? You win in business, but you feel like a failure with your wife and your kids. Okay, she's giving you the cold shoulder. You don't see eye to eye. The only things you ever talk about are the weather and what the kids got going on and maybe what's for supper. Success feels empty, right? You have money, but no joy, no purpose. You realize that something bigger is missing. Something else is missing. You feel disconnected from God. Your faith was strong, but now it feels hollow. Church isn't helping. Your pastors can't help you. Reading the Bible doesn't work anymore. These are all problems that you may be experiencing. And ultimately, you feel stuck in a cycle of change, but not transformation. You've tried fixing things, but nothing changes. It gets better for a little bit, but then a couple of months later, 3-6 months later, you find yourself back in the same hole. These are the problem. Let's talk about the possibility. Possibility is that you're leading at home like you lead in business. You earn back your trust, respect, and connection with your wife and your kids. You wake up with purpose, success that gives you fulfillment, faith that fuels you. I'm talking about a real, powerful connection with God. And ultimately, you break free and transform for good. There's no more surface level change. There's true and lasting transformation. That's what we're going to talk about today. And so, but first, there's a big difference. I believe there's a big difference between change and transformation. Change is not transformation. Let's look. Let's say you're a triangle and you change. Now you've just changed the way you view the world, so to speak. You've changed a few things about how you act. You've changed a few things, but ultimately, you're still a triangle. There's change. There's, sure, something is different. Something is different about how you're showing up. But again, after 3 to 6 months, you find yourself back in the same habits, the same patterns, the same routines. Because something has changed, but there has been no transformation. Whereas transformation is when you go from one thing and you become something completely different. You become something different. There's not just a change in how you're viewing the world. You are being something or someone different. This is transformation. Now, before we get too far down the weeds and I show you the transformation formula, I believe that transformation can only happen with God. It's only possible with God. Now, you may say God, universe, source, higher power. Okay, fine. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. So I'm going to say God. But ultimately, you need access to this higher power. Why? Well, first, the only way we can get to God or this higher power, the only way we can draw near is in truth. This is the only way we can get closer. So check it out. Truth gets us to God, and God brings us to transformation. Because here's the deal. 9 times out of 10, the reason you are only experiencing change and you find yourself back in these cycles is because you're not being honest. You're not being honest, number one, with yourself. You're not telling the truth about where you are and how unsatisfied you are. You're not telling the truth about where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. And because you're lying to yourself, you're coming nowhere close to God, or much less yourself. And that's why there's no transformation. That's why you keep finding yourself back stuck in these cycles over and over and over and over, wondering, how did I get here? It's because you're not being honest. You're lying to yourself. So let's go over the true transformation formula. The true transformation formula starts with a transformation or a rearrangement of your values, which leads to a transformation or a rearrangement of your priorities, which leads to a transformation or a rearrangement of your routine and habit. So let's take a look at this. When it comes to your values, let's say you're 20 pounds overweight and you have allowed yourself to get to this point. You keep saying, you know what, I'll start that fitness thing next year. New Year's, I'll start again. New Year's, I'll do this. I'll start this after summertime when the kids get out of school, blah, 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 blah. But eventually you get to the point where you're like, enough is enough. I'm done with this. Whether it's your weight, how much money you make, the quality of your relationships, you say, enough is enough. I'm done. Your values have rearranged. Your values begin to transform. And because your values transform, now your priorities are different. You say, if you're overweight, I'm going to start taking care of myself. I'm not going to buy the garbage food. I'm going to start tending to myself and caring for myself. So my values transform. Let me be very clear. Your values transform, your priorities transform, and now your routine and how you show up in life is different. There's been a transformation. You're no longer staying up late, dead scrolling on your phone. You're no longer waiting for the huge argument with your wife to suddenly realize, you know what, we need to connect. You're no longer waiting for the scale to say you're 20 pounds overweight to start taking action and doing something about it. Your routine and your habits start to change. But now I want to talk about values. Let's go back here for a second. When we talk about values, what do I mean? And that's what leads me to self-confidence and self-value. I have a question for you. What's the difference? What's the difference? Take a second. Ask yourself this question. Is there a difference in my mind between self-confidence and self-value? If so, what is it? I'm about to tell you my thoughts here. Self-confidence is my belief and my ability to accomplish a task. You may have said something similar, maybe not. But I have confidence that I can cook a mean steak. I have confidence that I can change a flat tire. I have confidence that I can get up in front of a group of people and talk. I have confidence that I can lead men to transform their lives. I have confidence in these areas. I have confidence that I can deal with someone who's obviously having a bad day. I have confidence that I can deal with that individual. Now check it out. If I go down the hallway here in my house, there's a bathroom. Inside the bathroom, there's a toilet. I have a tongue in my mouth. I am 100% confident that I can go into that bathroom and lick the toilet. I'm confident in my ability to accomplish this task. I can do that thing. My self-value says, no, I won't. So self-value is the level of permission I allow myself to have to live the life I want to live. The level of permission I allow myself to have to live the life I want to live. Just a few examples here. Your health and wellness, your fitness, the type of food that you eat, your relationships, the quality of your relationships, the depth and the intimacy of your relationships, your wealth, how much money you make, how much money you have in the savings, the legacy that you're leaving behind. All of these things are tied to your self-value and the level of permission you're allowing yourself to have to live the life you want to live. I'm confident I can lick a toilet. My self-value says, no, I won't. But so many people, so many of you go to a job that you don't like every day and you lick that toilet because that's what you feel like you have to do, that there's no other way. You stay in a relationship that is toxic because you feel like you don't have any other choice. That's your toilet. You choose to stay unhealthy and overweight and out of shape because you feel like you don't have time. You don't know how. You see, this is the level of permission you're allowing yourself to have. These are all of the toilets that you're choosing to lick. But when you begin valuing yourself more, when you begin to value yourself, your priorities in life will change. When your priorities change, your routine and your habits. This is all, I say change, I'm really meaning transformation because this requires you to become someone new. Quick summary. You're powerful at work, but you feel powerless at home. Success feels empty. You're disconnected from God, and ultimately you're stuck in a cycle of change, but not transformation. You're tired of fixing things, but nothing really changes. It's just the same thing over and over. Things get better for a little bit, and then it's right back into the hellhole. Right back to licking the toilet. Things get better for a little bit, and then you're licking a toilet again. Change is not the same as transformation. This is a game of becoming someone, something different. It's about who you are being. And it starts with you being honest with yourself. Be honest with where you are. Tell the truth about where you are. Tell the truth about what you want. And then start reaching out for support and guidance from your intuition, from the higher power, from source, from the universe, from God. But you can't do that if you're lying to yourself. So once you're honest with where you are and you're honest with where you want to go, now you can start coming up with a plan and you can look for God to show you the path and the way out. And now this transformation begins to happen. So, transformation or a rearrangement of values, your self-value. What level of permission are you allowing yourself to have to live the life you want to live? That's going to change your priorities in life, which will ultimately change your routine and your habits. You stick with it long enough, you exercise consistency. You will become unrecognizable, which leads you to the possibility of leading at home like you lead in business. Like, what if? What if you walked in and your wife and kids loved you as much as your clients do, as much as your team at work does? Can you imagine? What if you woke up with purpose? What if you woke up like every day was Christmas morning? What if? What if that's what you looked forward to? Faith that fuels you. What if you were really connected with us? See, the reason you're not connected with God right now is because you're lying to yourself. I'm telling you like it is because I'm not here to BS you. You're disconnected from God because you're lying to yourself. And if you're lying to yourself, you're lying to Him. Guaranteed. But ultimately, the possibility for you, once you raise your self-value, you change your priorities, your routines and your habits changes, you get to break free and transform for good. There's no more surface level change. You're not just reorienting yourself as a triangle. You're going from a triangle to a square, to a circle, etc. You're becoming someone different. Now, if this was beneficial for you, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like and comment your key takeaways from this video. And also join the Next Level Man Mastermind. There's a link somewhere on this page or on the bio. You can get access to a community of like-minded men that are applying these principles and transforming their lives. You're going to get access to more trainings just like this and more. We've got weekly calls. We've got trainings, webinars. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in there. So check out the link, hop inside, and start transforming your life from the inside out. No more hiding, guys. It's time to rise. Let's do this.